So let's move on. I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Lutfillo Yuldoshev, who is Director of Business Development Team at Worldpay. So Worldpay is the world's leading payment and risk management service provider designed to manage payment processing more effectively. Worldpay are supporting enterprise customers in the retail space, content space, and airline industries to achieve their payment goals. Lutfillo has been in Worldpay for, wait for it, 11 years. It's quite a good stint. So let's just say he's an absolute pro when it comes to payments and anything fintech related. Prior to Worldpay, Lutfillo was Global Strategic Alliance and Partnerships for fintech companies in Japan, and he also has a master's in payments. So payments is really in Lutfillo's blood, for sure. So today's session is, are you ready to shift gear, top trends in the next payment frontier? Please welcome Lutfillo on stage. Do you want this mic? Or do you want that one?
All right. Thank you very much for the intro. All right. Hi, everyone. Today I'll be representing Worldpay from FIS. My name is Lutfillo Yuldoshev. I take care of the commercial team in the retail and digital content vertical. So in today's session, I'll be providing you a brief intro about the company and also a bit of a background about the source of today's data that I'll be talking about, which is a global payment report. And then I'll be covering an overview of global payment trends, as well as deep dive into APAC specific trends, which might be close to your heart. And then obviously, we're going to have a Q&A session towards the end of this slot. All right, quick intro. Who's Worldpay from FIS? So Worldpay is part of the FIS group, which is the global acquirer, and we take care of verticals in various sectors. Sorry, mine also has auto. Keeps going back. So we process $9 trillion US dollars per annum, which translates into 75 billion transactions, and all this being supported across multiple geographies, multiple sectors and verticals, and obviously these businesses, global trading, enterprise level customers, being supported by our wonderful 55,000 colleagues. All right. So I have a game today, this slide. So what is in Global Payment Report? So this is actually the 7th edition of our Global Payment Report, which we issue on annual basis. So first of all, this covers the key payment trends in all global region. Wow. Apologize, I'm so sorry. So basically, while technicians are sorting out the issue, just to resume my presentation. So we basically cover the key trends in both e-commerce channel and as well as POS, which is the terminal card present environment. And at the second, we look into key insights in this payment landscape, what's actually being forecast, what we're expecting to be in the next over the next couple of years. Yes. And then, so it comes with market guides, which will be specifically covering 41 different jurisdictions, countries. So if you haven't had a chance to look into this report yet, please access our website. You can actually search it, or just reach out to us, or get in touch with us later in the booth, which we'll be sharing with you guys. The way to find it. So in the first key agenda, which is the global payment trends, let's look into e-commerce specifically before covering the POS and other environment. So the e-commerce transaction volume has been increasing since the beginning of pandemic. 2019 was the starting point, but we have seen a significant growth specifically due to that kind of demand, that kind of trends they have seen into 2021. 14% annual growth compared to the previous years, and then this is going to keep going up. By 2025, you're going to see almost double of what we have seen in 2019. And then this is actually happening across all regions. The key channel, I would say, in the e-com space is being mobile. So this is now in 2021 covered 52% of the payment transactions. So, and this is going to expected to grow further by 59% in 2025. So digital wallet, stop there. So digital wallet actually covering nearly half of the overall transactions in e-com space, which is 49%. And then is this happening across all region, but obviously APAC is leading, is because of the giant digital wallets that operates out of China. So the reason why digital wallets are becoming more popular, it's mainly because of this convenience, reward or speed way of experience for the customers. And that was also due to the fact that people are moving away from the cash and shifting towards becoming more user of digital wallets. And then obviously pandemic has accelerated that trend further. And even after the pandemic, people kind of get used to that convenience way of payment. So hence why we're seeing the trend remains there. And obviously, this is also due to some of the facts that's driving this. Also super apps is one of the key reasons where you can see the convenience of super apps in various part of your life. All right, I'll keep talking, yeah. So, the 5 key trends that's driving rise of wallets. These are the first of all the rise of super apps, which combined diverse functionality, which brings a lot of convenient app that's being high in usage. And a superior checkout experience and a customer experience is the second key point. This is because digital wallets actually offer streamlined customer experience, simplicity and the speed are the key. And also the third one is a marketplace ecosystem. So a lot of marketplace players who are actually having wallets as part of the marketplace user experience. And of course, a flexibility of wallet funding. It's not just about the cards that's being part of the options provided as for the wallet top up. You can have alternative payment methods as well as other variety of payment methods being offered, which makes it easier for people to use wallets. And then finally, growth in contactless payments. Obviously, as I mentioned early on, pandemic is really drive this trend because people wanted to have more contactless payments as their preferred payment options, and then this trend seems to remain moving forward as well. So in terms of the credit card shares, so we see a big sort of like shift as well. So we see credit cards are declining. A majority of largest credit cards traditionally being credit cards, countries such as Japan, South Korea, Canada, Singapore, etc. But people are choosing to pay more with alternative payment methods. And debit card world. So what's happening in this? Similar to credit cards, some traditionally debit card heavy markets, keep a strong position, I would say, in this payment method. It's because those markets, debit cards are driven by banks providing some innovations. There are some jurisdictions like UK where you have a lot of innovations where digital-only banks are driving these debit card payments. And then, so some countries like Ireland, they have introduced, the payments, up to 50 transaction value is being, without any PIN requirements, and so on, so forth. And then, in terms of the bank transfers, I was having a quick chat earlier with a gentleman there, sharing about the bank transfer trends. This is something that also similar to the credit cards is also declining. This is due to mainly the wallets that taking over the bank transfer as a payment method. But in some countries, this is actually increasing. This is simply because of the government initiatives as well. For example, in Brazil, so we have seen the growth, and this is likely going to keep growing because back in 2020, Brazil, the central bank introduced the consolidated bank transfer payments, which is PIX, which is becoming a major payment method. Beginning of this year, this covered almost 64% of the transactions happened in Brazil local market. So in the next session, so this is also the one of the key trends. You might be hearing about buy now, pay laters or BNPLs. This is part of the key payment methods actually becoming a dominant in e-com space. But at the same time, this is also entering into post-cut present environment as well. So why buy now, pay later is picking up? This is number one, very popular among the millennials and Gen Z. And then this generation of buyers or consumers, based on the statistics, they actually 60% of overall transactions happening globally, and almost 40% of this generation don't have a credit card, surprisingly. So that's why buy now, pay later is becoming a more preferred payment method for such a group of people. And then secondly, this is a big, the major value for merchants. Buy now, pay later is actually helping the merchants to increase the conversion of the success rate. Then this is happening between, if you look into the e-com and the POS environment, buy now, pay later is one of the fastest growing payment methods in all these markets. And in the e-com specifically, compared to digital wallet, which is relatively growing faster in a faster speed, but buy now, pay later even growing further. And same thing which is happening in the POS environment. Seems like the speed takes up as I speak here. So is there any button to stop? Yeah. So and then in the POS environment, we see even further growth. This is really accelerating because of the buy now pay laters in APAC market, in other regions, in Australia market, and in Europe, and in newly entered markets such as US as well. This is really picking up. And as we look into the buy now pay later trends, the increase of the transactions, obviously in early adapting markets where buy now pay later firstly introduced in e-com space, Australia, Denmark, some European countries. So the increase, the growth further expected by 2025, which is from 12% to 70% of all transactions, is going to be happening through buy now pay later. And in newly entered markets, such as especially in Southeast Asia and the US, this is picking up even in a faster speed. Then looking into total, the volume expectations, the growth in buy now pay later space, this is tremendous. So we see about 400 billion, the volume being processed via buy now pay laters. This is expected to be 1.3 trillion combined between e-com and POS. Especially this is growing in the POS environment, and this is expected to grow further. It's the fastest growing space, and then there's a lot of new players coming into the market as well. So let's deep dive into the POS trends. In the POS, stop there. In the POS, again, wallets are taking over the credit, the cards, and as you can see, 2021 was the year where wallets actually took over any other payment methods and then become the main payment method. And then this is going to be further growing by 2025. You can see it's actually almost 40% of overall transactions, which becomes a fully dominant player payment method in the transaction. So mobile wallet in the POS environment, similar to the e-com, similar to e-com, APAC is leading the way because of the key giant wallet players, the technology companies actually coming out of APAC. They're really driving this trend. And then what's happening with the cash? Cash once in a while, a couple of years, was a king of the payment methods in many jurisdictions. But compared to what we have seen pre-pandemic, in 2021, this has significantly dropped. Basically, cash and wallet fighting. So wallet has took over majority proportion of the cash payments. 2025, you can see cash is going to be in a force. And then this is happening everywhere. This trend's not just APAC. This is happening everywhere in a global marketplace. So let's deep dive into APAC specific trends. There will be a lot of data. I'm sure it's not so easy to digest, and I'll pick up the key points here. But again, as I mentioned to you guys, and if you want to look into the detailed reporting, please reach out to us. So if you look into the APAC e-commerce specifically, again, the volume of the transactions has been growing significantly, and this is between the mobile and desktop. You can see obviously mobile is taking the majority of the channel. If you look into the APAC market ranking by the growth, obviously the growth is happening mostly in emerging markets, such as Vietnam and Indonesia on 22% base, and in some of the e-com heavy markets such as Japan and New Zealand, the market's still going to have a steady growth, as well as China at 12%. Then what's happening between the payment methods? Obviously, wallets are still the major payment methods, and then this will keep growing, and then credit cards are going to decline further. Debit cards are going to be picking up as well, but this is not going to be a major payment method. Bank transfers, obviously, you can see is declining significantly. But this wallet, again, as I mentioned to you early on, is driven by key giant players in APAC market. So when we look into market specifically, this e-com sector is being really like, each market has its own trend, obviously, but the shift between the payment methods are very obvious. So where the debit cards and the credit cards are being significant payment methods, these are actually sharing the market with other alternative payment methods. You can see, so the red highlighted is the decline happening in these countries. In Japan, it's actually a cash-heavy market, but we have seen a reduction here as well. This is simply because of buy now pay later players, as well as increase in some of the alternatives taking over this portion. And then traditionally, sort of like the markets where the cash is, again, the key players, there are still going to remain, because cash on delivery is also part of the payment methods that keeps being one of the major payment methods in emerging market across APAC region. And let me introduce you market insight about Singapore specifically. But again, this is one of the examples which we actually cover along 41 different countries. For Singapore, if you look into the e-com space, obviously the credit cards and debit cards covers the majority of the payment methods. By 2025, we see the reduction. And again, goes to the same story, wallets are taking over majority of the payments. We also see the increase in buy now pay laters, mainly driven by key players such as Atome, the Rely and Hula and others. And in terms of the POS environment, credit cards and debit cards currently covers the major, and then this will most likely gonna remain in the same kind of position, but obviously not yet. But obviously wallets also similarly increasing as well. So you can see between the e-com and the POS, there's some similarities in terms of the trends, what's actually coming up next. But all this data is significantly important for the customers, for the key players in the e-com or POS ecosystem to optimize and to look into their strategy, how to handle when it comes to the payments and so on and so forth. So we have got some quick intro video towards the end before moving into Q&A sessions. I do apologize about the technical challenges again. Yeah, let's start it again. Yeah.
Today's customers expect to pay in ways that are fast, frictionless, and ever advancing. So while they're booking holidays with just a couple of clicks, we're processing over 300 different payment methods, holding deposits, changing currencies, and distributing funds, keeping things simple and secure for everyone involved. Modern payments still start with money changing hands, but it's more flexible and complex than ever before. For someone like a growing restaurant brand, we see it as a way to help them unlock new opportunities by advancing the way payments work for them. From takeout app orders, to diners in the restaurants, subscriptions to cooking classes, or online marketplaces selling their products in over 140 countries. From point of sale to global e-commerce, we handle the hidden complexity behind today's world of moving money. This means customers get to enjoy simple, one-click purchases wherever they are, while merchants see their customer interactions in a single reporting experience, as well as data and insights from the bank to the customer, giving them a unique view of the entire finance and e-commerce cycle. No matter how complex your needs, with Worldpay from FIS, the possibilities are endless. Worldpay from FIS, advancing the way the world pays, banks, and invests.
All right. Thank you very much for your attention.